Now, this book is an example of early immigrant publications of American Russian diaspora. Published in 1933 in New York, this book is called The Good Seed or Доброе семя, and is a collection of essay by proto-presbyter Theophan Bukitov. Is a collection of essays, as I have already said, and it basically discusses the life of Russian community in New York at the time, as well as address pressing questions, pressing challenges that this community faced. What I really like about these early 20th century publications is how they always include the portrait of the author in the beginning. So we can see Theophan Bukitov right here, the author of the text. So this particular volume includes his story about getting to the United States. In fact, Bukitov was actually already in the United States before the 1917 revolution, but before the revolution, he returned to Russia and lived through the civil war, the revolution, the evacuation with monarchist forces, and he managed to return to the United States, where he eventually was appointed to a cathedral in New York. And this cathedral is really a big topic of this volume. This is what he talks about a lot. In fact, the volume starts with the image of the internal area of this cathedral. He talks about how the community around this cathedral celebrate Christmas, how they organize cultural events. In fact, he starts by telling the story when he was, during the Civil War, he was ill with typhus, and he was in a bed having fever, and he had a vision, and in this vision he saw his future temple in New York, and this is how he realized that God is still looking after him and that everything will be fine, that he will be able to evacuate from Russia safely. So it also has portraits of other priests of the Orthodox community at the time. But what I like even more is this photo of the Russian Orthodox chorus of the cathedral where Bukitov was serving as a priest. This is their church chorus in the early 1930s. As you can see, they wear very traditional Russian clothes. So what I could say is that Russian Orthodox Church and communities around the churches really served as crucial points for the preservation of Russian culture abroad. They allowed people to keep in touch with their pre-revolutionary Russian culture, spread Russian language and culture more widely, anything from religion to clothes. And other entries in this volume discuss other aspects of Russian life in immigration. Some of them are pretty grim, like the life of orphans in Russian communities who lost their parents during the Civil War and the revolution in Russia. There are also images depicting the life in pre-revolutionary Russia, contributing the image of mythologized Russia before the revolution. Here's another example of the same. So works like this were both popular and extremely important for Russian community, as they helped the community to maintain the sense of unity. For us, almost a century after publication of these works, they provide a unique window in the life of Russian Orthodox diaspora in the 1930s in the United States.